Hello, my friends and strangers. I am coming to you today to discuss Multiverse Mindset Activation sessions that I offer. I've had a few people asking me questions that have led me to realize I just have not been very clear enough about it with what I put out there. So, also, my website just doesn't have as much information as it should. Shame on me. So, to make up for that, let's talk about it. What is it? Multiverse Mindset Activations is my unique advanced form of quantum jumping in a guided quantum jumping session. Quantum jumping, for those of you that don't know, is a process in which we energetically travel to an alternate universe to visit the alternate universe's version of ourselves in order to obtain their frequency, their energy signature, their mindsets, their skills, their knowledge of something in particular that we're trying to achieve and manifest for ourselves here. For those of you familiar with multiverse theory, basically, for every choice we make in our lives, we choose this way instead of that way. Well, the choice to go that way exists and happened by a different version of ourselves that chose to go that way instead of this way. So that means there's basically an infinite number of versions of ourselves in which the other version of us did something a little different. It has something that we want. Because in hindsight, maybe we wish we had made the choice that way, or whatever it is, or maybe we don't wish we did the choice that way, but we want the same result. So this process was, as far as I'm aware and learned, introduced by Burt Goldman many years ago, and made popular more recently through Mind Valley, which is where I found it and learned it. But like everything that I do and I learn and want to implement, I want to improve it, I want to make it better. So the Multiverse Mindset Activation, as I call it, is my enhanced, improved version of that. So what do I do that's different? Well, the first thing that I learned going through the process myself and studying very deeply on this through a lot of painful trial and error is that there are different variable frequencies for the same things. So I'm going to use wealth because it's a very popular thing that everybody's after, right? We all want that luxury of wealth, abundant wealth to make life easier because money makes the world go round, right? But there's different kinds of wealth, right? Let's say that you are a banker, bank teller. Nothing fancy, nothing special. You sit at the counter at a bank handling deposits and withdrawals and other things for customers. But you're barely making ends meet. It's not the best paying job. You want more. Well, how do you get more? Right? The law of attraction, one aspect of it, just the one aspect we're going to touch on here, because there's a whole rabbit hole of that, right? The one aspect, and this is what quantum jumping helps you with, is in order to attract what you want, you have to embody what you want, the energy, the frequency of it. And that's why it fails for so many people, because that only goes so far with something you've never experienced before. If you don't already know and understand the frequency, how are you going to embody it, right? That's why it fails for so many people, is you don't have that frequency, you don't have that energy, and you've never experienced it firsthand in yourself to call upon it and make it viable to make it manifest. And thus, you've got to put in a lot more physical work into 3D to make it happen. And it's a much more intense struggle that way, right? But somewhere in an alternate universe, a different version of you making different choices got there and got that and already has it and has the frequency and energy and embodies it fully. And that's where quantum jumping helps you to visit that alternate version of yourself, to learn to absorb, to become and embody that frequency and bring it back with you here, so that in this version of you, you can manifest it more easily and effectively. So, how do I make it different and more advanced? One of the things I learned in the trial and error is that different aspect of the same thing. So as a bank teller, your wealth that you want to embody, you want to visit a different version of yourself that is also a bank teller. And they gain their wealth maybe through some bank investments like CDs or something. I don't know a lot about banking and investing myself, so but you get the idea, right? There's an alternate version of you who's also a bank teller at the same bank, doing similar things, but they learned about how to invest in banking related stuff like CDs and whatever. And they've made a lot of money through that. That's very close to who you are with just some few subtle shifts in the frequency range. So that's going to be a lot easier for you to incorporate, to integrate, and embody and bring back, versus if we went and visited a version of you who became a famous actor and makes millions of dollars per role. That's going to be a huge, bigger shift that's a lot harder to embody. So we want to make it easier. So we want to niche down to something that's as close to who you already are as possible to make it more easy. And quick side note is, that's not to say we can't still go and visit famous actor you if that's a shift that's in alignment to who you are right now, because maybe you're tired of banking and you don't care about investing and you want to make that drastic change. You want to become an actor. So then yes, that becomes closer in alignment to you frequency-wise, because you're wanting it, you're striving towards it, you're already taking actionable steps like acting classes and whatever or something. So that would make it closer still than originally example. So we could still do that. But in general, we want to be as close to your current self as possible. Now, the other aspect, and this is where my quantum jumping is wholly unique and different to whatever anybody else in the world out there can offer you. What I have unique to me is, so I'm big, if you've been on my website or if you've been following me, you've heard me mention the runes, and I'm going to be starting to talk about them a lot more. Again, one of my missions in this life is to bring back runic healing and the ancient power of runic healing to the world. But not just in the original basic ancient form, but modernized. And to that end, one of the things that I have done is I've taken runes and I've blended the power of the runes with crystals into a crystal grid format of my own unique design that I call the 9 Worlds Runic Grid. And I have 2 variables on that, one specific for healing and one specific for journeying in such things like my upcoming sleep empowerment and in these multiverse mindset activations and such. So this right here, to give you an example, this is a 9 Worlds Runic Grid. That's a portal grid, but that's a healing style grid for a healing journey client. It uses more crystals, more runes than what I use for the Multiverse Mindset Activation. That only uses 3 crystals and 3 runes because the numerology aspect, all of my runic grids incorporate numerology, geometry, crystals, and runes together to create a very powerful focus for what we're doing to amplify the energy and make it that much more powerful and effective. For multiverse mindset activations, I only use 3. The numerology here is around triangulation, because this is an actual portaling journey where we're going across dimensions to another alternate universe. So to help us hit that right frequency, that right universe, and make it that much more effective. We only use 3 that are as closely aligned to what you want. I think that about covers it. So please remember to fill out the little form that's on there on the website when you're purchasing. Um, that's going to help me to uh, personalize the journey for you and what you want and your needs. And it is a pre-recorded session. I do not do these ones live because that just complicates the issue. Pre-recorded is much more effective for your convenience to listen whenever you want, anytime you want, as much as you want, to keep refreshing and enhancing and growing that frequency of whatever it is that you're bringing back. And because of the aspect of niching down the version of yourself to one thing, to as close to who you already are, with that in mind, it's a low cost of only $27 each. But I do offer discounts if you buy bundles because you want more than one thing, you want more than one aspect. I'll create more than one. If you buy 3, you save $9 in total. If you buy 6, it's basically a buy 5, get 1 free offer. And if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you're watching on social media, post in the comments or message me through the platform that you're on. If you're on the website, there is a contact form on my contact page. You can email me through that, and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm able. I hope I've answered all questions, though, and you don't have any. And I thank you for your time. Behulunyo Dagas. Stay blessed, my friend.